God says, "My beloved child, this is a message for you, and it carries the weight of heaven." Something in the air is trembling, something holy is shaking the gates of memory and the quiet walls of your heart, because this is something serious about your Father. There are things buried deep, beneath the surface of casual words and old stories, behind the smiles and family photographs, underneath the silences that stretch too long at the dinner table. But today, those things are coming to light, and the one who knows all things has decided that now is the time to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, because the days ahead are sacred and the truth has been knocking on your door for a long time now. Your Father is not just a man. He is a mystery in human form, a vessel that has carried many wounds, secrets, and sacred dreams. You have seen him through the lens of the child's heart, through the confusion of teenage years, through the skepticism of adulthood, but you never saw the fullness of him. And the truth is, very few ever have. There is a sacred war that took place in your Father's soul, a place where fire met fire and silence often spoke louder than his voice. But this message is not meant to judge him. This is a divine letter, written with love, revelation, and warning. There were 3 nights in his youth that shaped the rest of his life. 3 nights that were never spoken about, not even to those closest to him. On the first night, he watched someone he trusted betray a promise. On the second night, he was forced to make a decision that he's been repenting in silence ever since. And on the third night, something spiritual happened. A shadow passed through his room, and from that moment on, he was not the same man. He has wrestled with invisible forces, carrying burdens that were never his to carry, and yet he bore them because no one else would. And some of those burdens have flowed into your life, like water running downhill, like an inheritance that nobody signed but everybody received. Your Father's silence has been mistaken for strength, and his distance has been misread as pride. But deep down, there is a voice inside of him that has always wanted to say, "I'm sorry," not just to you, but to himself. He's been running from a truth he didn't know how to face. Something happened when he was younger, something that took his voice. And though he built a life, though he held the walls together with his hands, there's a hidden ache that followed him into every room he ever walked in. And here's the revelation: your Father has been watched over. Even when he thought no one saw him, even when he cursed the sky, even when he turned away from prayer, he was still being followed by a light that refused to leave him. That's why you're receiving this message today. Because the light that followed him is now resting upon you, and the baton is passing not just in flesh, but in spirit. There are things your Father could not finish, promises he made to heaven that he could not fulfill, and now they are falling into your lap, not as burdens, but as sacred assignments. You were born to finish what he started, to complete a circle that began before you were born. But to do that, you must first know the truth. There is a woman who knows something about your Father. Someone he trusted once, someone who still carries a piece of his past. She has tried to forget. She has moved on with her life, but the truth she holds is heavy, and it's about to come to light. Her name will appear before you, through a conversation, a message, a memory, and when it does, you must pay attention. What she knows will break a silence that has echoed across generations. And when that silence breaks, your healing will begin, not just for you but for your entire bloodline. There's more. Your father has wept in secret. There were nights he didn't sleep. There were mornings when he went to work with swollen eyes because he cried from a pain he couldn't name. He's loved you more than he could ever say, but he didn't know how to show it. He feared he would mess things up, feared that you would one day look at him and see failure. But God heard those prayers he never said out loud. The prayers hidden in clenched fists and long drives and whispered regrets. And those prayers have reached heaven. That's why this is happening now. This message is not just a revelation, it's an invitation. You are being called into something sacred, a moment in time where you can break the chain. The silence ends with you. The fear ends with you. The emotional inheritance of guilt and hiding and pretending ends with you. But to break the chain, you must forgive. You must forgive your father not because he earned it, but because your soul deserves the freedom. Forgive the man, even if you don't understand the journey. He was walking through a battlefield no one else could see, and still, he managed to make sure you had enough to survive. But God is not calling you to merely survive. You are called to thrive, to stand on your father's shoulders and see further than he ever could. There is a spiritual inheritance coming. A blessing that was delayed is being unlocked because you chose to receive this message. And the blessing will be heavy. It will not come wrapped in money or material. It will come in dreams, revelations, and protection. Things that used to go wrong for no reason will start going right. Doors that stayed shut for years will begin to creak open. People who left will try to return. But you must stay focused. Not everything that returns is meant to stay. Some people are only meant to return long enough for you to forgive them and release them, so your heart has room for what is truly coming. And what is coming is divine. There is a book with your father's name in it. A spiritual book. It holds the story of his purpose, his wounds, and his redemption. That book was closed the moment he gave up on certain things, but because of your obedience to receive this message, the book has been opened again. Not for him to finish, but for you to redeem. There is a calling over your life that echoes through your family tree, a calling that skipped a generation but has found its rightful place again, in you. You are the voice he never had, the courage he longed for, the answer to his prayers, and yet you are not bound to his failures. You are not his shadow. You are his legacy, but a healed one. Prepare yourself. You will begin to dream differently. You may wake up with tears in your eyes and not know why. You may feel the presence of something holy in your room at night. You may hear a name whispered in your spirit. Do not be afraid. These are signs. Divine confirmations. The angels that once guarded your father are now walking with you. And they have a message too, one that is being whispered in this very moment. We have been waiting for you. There are letters your father never sent. Journals he never wrote. Words he kept in his throat because no one ever gave him the space to be vulnerable. You will be that space, for him, and for others. You will be the voice that rewrites the ending. You will be the light that leads your family out of spiritual stagnation and emotional hiding. But first, go back. Not physically, but spiritually. Close your eyes and speak to the child version of your father. Tell him he is forgiven. Tell him he did his best. Tell him the story didn't end with his mistakes. Because it didn't. The story continues with you. And the pages ahead are brighter than anything you've seen before. But the only way forward is through the truth. The truth about your father. The truth about what he endured. The truth about what he carried so you didn't have to. You have every right to feel hurt, but now, you have every right to be free. And freedom comes when you let the past speak, and then gently lay it to rest. And there's one final thing you must know. Your father loved someone deeply, and he lost them. It changed him. It made him hard in places he used to be soft. He never recovered. That heartbreak shaped every relationship that followed. But he never wanted to pass that pain on to you. Even in his brokenness, he tried to shield you. And now, heaven is giving you the chance to shield him in real life. Return. Pray for him. Even if he's still alive. Even if he's gone. Pray for him like your soul depends on it, because in a way, it does. He is not the villain. He is the wounded hero who didn't know how to ask for help. But the help has come now, through this message, through you. You are the bridge between the pain and the promise. The gatekeeper of generational healing. The answer to prayers whispered in the dark. And even now, as you read this, someone in heaven is smiling. Because you're finally beginning to understand. It's your time now. Step forward. And remember this, God says, what was hidden is now being revealed, not to shame, but to heal. Not to punish, but to awaken. This message has found you because you were always meant to carry the light forward, even if your father could only carry it part of the way. And now, the path is open. Walk it with courage. Walk it with love. Walk it knowing you are not alone. Your father is part of your story, but he is not the end of it. God says, this is something serious about your father. Your father is not who you always believed him to be, and it is time for your heart to open like a vessel prepared to receive the truth. This message is not merely for knowledge. It is a divine unlocking of what has been hidden from you for years. The ground beneath you may feel familiar, but the roots of your family have grown in shadows where the truth was once whispered but never spoken. This is not about shame. This is about revelation. This is about a shift in the spirit that will change the course of your understanding, and it begins with your father. He is holding something in his heart, a truth he tried to bury in time. He never wanted you to carry the weight he carried, so he remained silent, and in that silence, you assumed peace. But silence is not always peace. Sometimes silence is pain dressed in stillness. And now, something is stirring, because you must know, because your soul is ready, and because heaven cannot allow you to live in blindness any longer. What was once kept to protect you has now become the very thing that must be undone to set you free. Your father has been crying alone at night, more times than you know, and these tears have not been of weakness but of restraint. He wanted to tell you. He tried to many times. But he thought that if he told you, it would shift how you see him. And he couldn't bear the thought of your disappointment. He has spent years loving you from a distance you never noticed, a distance not measured in miles, but in truth held back. And even now, as this message finds you, his soul is restless, because somewhere deep inside, he knows that the veil is being lifted. There was a time when he made a decision, one decision, that changed everything. And for years, he prayed that no one would ever find out. But now the heavens are opening up because what was hidden in the past is infecting the present. And God is not a God of secrets. He is a God of light, of healing, of transparency that leads to transformation. The truth is not here to break you. It is here to bring restoration. But you must hear it all. You must face it all. You must not look away, even when your heart trembles. For when the winds of truth blow, they do not destroy, they cleanse. There is a woman. She knows something about your father. She has known for years and chose silence because your father pleaded with her. But her silence has become a sickness in her spirit. She wants to speak, but is afraid it will shatter your family. Yet God has been pressing on her heart like fear in her bones. She will come to you soon. You may not recognize her voice at first, but when she speaks, your soul will feel the trembling. Do not be afraid of her words. They are not here to curse. They are here to unlock the story you were never told. There is something about your name, something connected to your father's decision that has been taken. God has taken what was broken and sanctified it for his glory. And though the past has stained, it was not a God's decision. God has taken what was broken and sanctified it for his glory. God has taken what was broken and sanctified it for his glory. And though the past has stains, you have been made clean. But you must know the truth of your name, of your bloodline, and of the spiritual inheritance that has been warring for you since you were a child. Your father made a vow a long time ago. He made it in secret, in a moment of time. He made it in secret, in a moment of desperation. That vow opened a door in the spirit that affected your household. He thought it was harmless, just words in a moment of panic. But heaven never forgets words. Words carry weight, and his words became chains. Chains you have felt without understanding. That heaviness that comes in the middle of the night. That confusion that lingers even when life seems good, that was the vow echoing through your blood. But now God is sending this message to break what was spoken and to release what has been delayed. Your father still holds guilt. He carries it in his eyes, though he smiles. That guilt has stopped him from becoming the man he was meant to be. And unknowingly, that same limitation has tried to rest on you. That feeling that you are not enough, that something is missing, that you are willing to be. That is the reaching for something you cannot name, that is the shadow of his guilt trying to find a resting place in you. But you are not your father's failure. You are heaven's redemption. You are not the mistake. You are the miracle born from it. And now the angels of the Lord are surrounding you because the veil is tearing and the chains are breaking. A storm is coming, not a storm of destruction, but of exposure. Things are going to be said in your family that you never thought would be spoken. Secrets will rise like smoke from a long-forgotten fire. There will be tension. There may be tears, but after the trembling will come peace. After the shaking will come healing. For what is hidden cannot be healed, and what is buried cannot be blessed. God is walking through your house. Even now, He is touching the walls, touching the photos, breathing upon the very rooms where silence once reigned. And He is saying, "Let there be light." There is something your father did when you were very small, something that saved your life, but no one ever told you. He stood between you and danger once. He took the burden so you wouldn't have to feel it. That act was buried beneath layers of mistakes, but God never forgot. That act is why mercy is chasing him. That act is why God is not through with him. That act is why, even now, heaven is working to restore what was broken. And you, yes, you, are part of that restoration. Your father has dreams he never fulfilled. There is a journal he keeps hidden. In it are the sketches of dreams he once had for you and for himself. But life broke him. He stopped dreaming. He started surviving. But now, because of you, because of your prayers, because of your tears, those dreams are being resurrected. You are going to see your father come alive again. Not immediately, but steadily. First in his eyes, then in his voice, then in his spirit. Because when the truth is revealed, healing begins. And when healing begins, destinies wake up. This message was sent because your father needs your forgiveness, even if he never asks for it. He needs your understanding, even if he doesn't know how to say the words. And you, child of grace, you need the truth, not to condemn, but to be free. For your path has been heavy not just because of your own burdens, but because you were carrying something spiritual that wasn't yours. That ends today. That ends now. This truth is your release. This revelation is your reset. This moment is holy. Do not rush this message. Sit with it. Let your heart cry if it must. Let your soul tremble. Let your spirit breathe. Because something ancient is ending, and something divine is beginning. Your father may not have been perfect, but he loved you in his broken way. And now, through God's healing, a new chapter is coming. One where truth is not hidden. One where love is not confused. One where your family walks in light. Our letter will come. It may come from someone you don't expect. It may be found by accident or delivered at just the right moment. That letter will have part of the missing truth. Don't ignore it. Don't delay. Read it fully. For in those words is the voice of a father trying to explain without speaking. And after you read, pray. Heaven will guide your next step. This is not the end of your father's story. This is the turning. And you, dear soul, are not just watching the change. You are part of the divine restoration. The heavens rejoice because the cycle is breaking. What was bound is being loosed. And what was hidden is being unveiled. It is done. Let the healing begin. God says, this is something serious about your father. Your father is carrying a silence in his soul that has gone unnoticed. A silence wrapped in memories he could never put into words. And burdens he was never taught how to release. This message is not sent to frighten you, but to awaken a sense of awareness and compassion inside you that will allow healing to begin. Healing not just for him, but for the parts of you that have always longed to understand him. You must listen with your spirit now, not just with your ears, because what is being whispered into your heart right now is coming from the realms that lie between your past and your divine future. Your father is not only a man of this earth, but a vessel that was chosen before your own breath ever entered this world. He was chosen not because of his perfection, but because of what his presence would shape inside of you. There were times you questioned him. There were moments you couldn't understand him. And there may be things he has done or said that caused tears to rise into your eyes in the silence of your room. But in the eyes of heaven, your father is a soul in need of grace. A soul that has fought many unseen storms. A soul that was chosen as part of your spiritual lineage for a reason you are only just beginning to uncover. This is something serious about your father. Your father is carrying pain. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that lingers. The kind that hides itself in quiet gestures and tired sighs. There are nights he sits in stillness, remembering moments he can never retrieve. There are parts of him that remain locked away, not because he doesn't want to share them, but because no one ever taught him how to speak in the language of the Spirit. He needs prayer more than judgment. He needs intercession more than rejection. He needs love, not just your love, but God's love to touch the places that have been untouched for decades. This is a message for you. You are the one chosen to carry a light into the darkness. You are the one whose prayers can reach where words never could. You are the one who can stand in the gap, not as a child trying to fix a father, but as a vessel of light called to bring healing across generations. Sometimes healing doesn't come with answers. Sometimes it begins with a single whisper to heaven, God, I surrender him to your mercy. Let your love do what I cannot. Do not be afraid. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are wrapped in divine protection, held in the hands of the one who sees everything, your heart, your worries, your hidden longings. You just have to trust God and pray to him. That prayer is more powerful than you know. It can travel through walls, through time, through pain. It can reach your father even when he is too tired to reach back. It can cradle his soul when he forgets how to pray for himself. You may not know everything that is going on within him. You may not know every decision he made or every secret he has kept buried beneath his strong exterior. But heaven knows. And heaven has chosen this moment to speak to you so that you may see him with new eyes, not as a figure who failed in certain places, but as a soul who needs light. There is something unfolding that you cannot yet see. Your father's journey is turning a quiet page. And though it may not be loud or dramatic, it is a page that heaven is watching closely. This is why you are being asked to watch as well, not with fear, but with compassion, not with suspicion, but with faith. Speak over him words of life, even if only in prayer. Even if only when he cannot hear. Speak words that carry grace. God, touch my father. Show him mercy. Bring peace into every restless part of his soul. You must know this, your father was a doorway. Through him, you entered this life. And through your love and forgiveness, something holy can enter his. You are not helpless. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be for God to use you as a vessel of healing. Whatever is unresolved between you, whatever is heavy, you do not have to carry it alone. Lay it at the feet of the one who understands it all. This is something serious about your father. Your father is closer to breakthrough than anyone realizes. Sometimes people change not in front of your eyes, but inside their heart when they are alone. Sometimes a single tear in a quiet moment can water a field of healing. Let your heart soften. Let your spirit be open. Even if the world tells you it's too late, heaven whispers, it is not too late. Not for healing. Not for redemption. Not for grace. There is something sacred in the way God is touching your family right now. This moment is not random. You were meant to read this. You were meant to be part of this divine intervention. Don't walk away from it. Don't let your heart be hardened by what has or hasn't happened. God is moving in a quiet way, and your willingness to pray is the key. There will come a day when the things that were hidden will be made clear. When you will look at your father and see not just the man, but the soul that walked a path you could never fully understand. That is the day when peace will bloom like a sunrise in your spirit. That is the day when forgiveness will no longer feel like a sacrifice, but a gift. That is the day your heart will thank you for choosing love over bitterness. This is a message for you. Your father is still being written into God's story. You are part of that story too. And though this chapter feels heavy, there is healing on the next page. Trust God. Pray with all your heart. And know, even now, heaven is listening. Even now, heaven is leaning in, listening to your silent cries and the longings that have lived in you since you first began to notice your father. Your father's distant eyes. Yes, there were days when he seemed unreachable. There were times you wished he would just speak. Explain. Open up and let you see him as something more than a stern figure or a man hardened by life. But God is showing you now. There's a reason for that silence, and it's deeper than you could have imagined. He has been carrying things, not because he wanted to shut you out, but because somewhere in his own story, he learned that silence was the safest place to hide his wounds. But this is something serious about your father. Your father is not beyond the reach of transformation. No one is. You are not reading this by chance. You are being invited into something holy, a moment that could change not just his future, but your entire family's spiritual inheritance. When you begin to see your father through the eyes of the Spirit, you will recognize the pain behind his strength and the tenderness that he never knew how to show. He may have called it pride. He may have called it strength, but heaven knows it was protection. He built walls where he needed bridges. He stayed strong where he needed to weep. He didn't always know how to be a father, because perhaps no one truly fathered him. This truth is not here to bring shame. It's here to bring mercy. Your father is a man in need of a miracle. A miracle that doesn't come with loud thunder or flashing lights, but with a whisper from the heavens that says, "You are not forgotten. You are still redeemable." That miracle is already in motion, and you are part of it. You have the power, through prayer, to become the one who brings light to where he's hidden his most painful memories. And you don't have to confront him. You don't have to say the perfect words. You only need to pray from the deepest part of your heart. Pray even if it hurts. Pray even if you don't have all the answers. Pray even if it feels like nothing is changing. Because what you cannot see is that every whispered prayer becomes a thread in the tapestry of healing. Every silent intercession wraps around your father's heart like a soft blanket, warming the cold places he forgot existed. This is something serious about your father. Your father is still capable of love, of joy, of renewal. He may not say it, but his soul longs to be free. He longs to rest. He longs to be forgiven. He may not have the words, but his spirit is crying out. And God hears those cries. God has not abandoned him. Your part is not to fix him. Your part is to love him from the inside, to lift him up in prayer when his own faith feels faint. Your faith is strong enough to carry both of you through this moment. That is why God is speaking to you now. You are being entrusted with something precious, something sacred, a divine assignment. And it starts with something as simple as closing your eyes and saying, "God, I give you my father." Your father's healing might come in silence. It might come in private. It might come on a day when you least expect it, when his heart softens during a walk, or a memory comes flooding back, or a quiet voice urges him to say, "I'm sorry," or even just, "I love you." Don't look for it. Just believe it. Because when you believe, you make room for the impossible. When you pray, you make room for heaven to move. Finally, this is not just about your father. This is about you too. Healing flows in both directions. As you pray for him, you'll begin to see your own heart change. You'll begin to understand things you once presented. You'll begin to feel peace where pain used to live. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you are letting heaven take the weight off your shoulders. You are choosing peace. You are choosing to let go of what you cannot control and embrace what God is doing in the unseen places. And perhaps one day, your father will see in your eyes the love he forgot how to give. Maybe he'll hold your hand longer than usual. Maybe he'll smile in a way that feels different. Or maybe the transformation will remain quiet, but you'll know. You'll know that something shifted. That God intervened. That the prayers were not in vain. This is something serious about your father. Your father is part of a sacred story that is not over yet. His ending has not been written. His redemption has not expired. Heaven is not done with him. Grace still pursues him. And mercy surrounds him even now. Let this message remind you that miracles don't always look like fireworks. Sometimes they look like a softened heart. Sometimes they look like a long overdue hug. Sometimes they look like peace in your soul when you thought you'd never stop feeling broken. You are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. God is with you. You only have to trust and pray. He is the one who holds both you and your Father in His hands. He knows the past, the present, and the future. And He is weaving it all into a story of restoration. You don't have to force anything. Just keep your heart open. Keep praying. Keep trusting. Because what you are doing right now is more powerful than anything you could say or do. You are opening the door to heaven. You are allowing grace to move through you. And that is how families are healed. That is how legacies are rewritten. That is how love wins. If you believe in God, type Amen.